let's call this meeting of the Londonderry Budget Committee to order at 9:03 p.m. All rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Seeing as there's no one from the public here, I'm not going to ask for a motion to open public comment. So what this meeting, as we discussed, we've gone through all the town, we've sat through all the town presentations, we've heard from all the departments. What I'd like to do is just go department by department and just ask, are there any further questions that you have for the department heads? Are there any areas that you want to see, that you think that we could see cuts in? Or adjustments that you've seen? So I guess we'll start with, we'll just do in the order that they were presented to us.
So are you going through the Town of Londonderry budget or the budget presentation, which are the same, but...
Yeah, so we'll be, through the Town of Londonderry budget, I know I took notes throughout of just things I noticed, further questions that I have, and I'm sure you all have the same. So let me just grab, we'll do it in... Of course, now I can't. Alright, so we're going to start, so town manager we just covered in there. Is there anything else
In the town manager department?
in the town manager department?
Yeah, so that's where human resources falls under that, right? And we are,
Human Resources its own department now.
Right.
oh, that's right,
So-
yeah, they got split out, okay,
Yeah.
I take it all back.
We'll allow that.
Hold up.
Hey, all you experienced people, you know what you're doing.
I know.
Well, us newbies are still catching up, at least I am.
No, we're still
Alright.
finding our feet.
Alright, are we good with town manager, move on to police?
Mhm.
Okay, anything for the the police department budget?
Nothing.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, that we're not asking for anything.
They're not asking for
No.
anything this
All
year.
contractual obligations is the only
Correct.
increase.
90% of their budget is staff. Like, it all makes a lot of sense to me, so.
It's pretty buttoned up.
Yep. And they had a really strong presentation
Yes.
Saturdays ago too. So.
Agreed, very specific.
Very professional looking too.
Yes.
Mhm.
Alright, then, fire department.
They were asking for how many firefighters?
So,
8, but my understanding is that's
It's-
not going forward with that.
yeah,
Yeah, because
That was
Sean
my
pulled them out,
recommendation.
right?
Right.
yeah, so
Right.
it's just the two positions that'll be on the warrant, but not within the department,
Correct.
budget itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
The executive assistant and the training officer, those are the only, they thought of 4, but they're only going forward with 2, so,
Okay.
4 warrant articles, to be clear.
Thank you. I apologize because I left.
No,
That's
no,
okay.
you're good.
Yep.
Yeah, and the presentation from the fire department, especially with the SCBA's, I mean, that all made sense to me. It's,
Mhm.
you know, we've got to put their safety first,
Yeah.
right? And if I remember correctly, they're staggering those in, was it 2 batches? The SCBA's?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, that presentation made sense to me. That was just, you know, a sizable expense, but,
Mhm.
again, we gotta put them first.
Mm-hmm.
And that, yeah, that's also being funded through the, what is the
Equipment,
capital reserve
Yeah.
fund, and that'll be on the warrant.
That's
Yep.
right. Mhm.
Yep.
So that one was not one of the ones where the town council was looking at potentially cutting it?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Anything else for fire? Alright, then, public works.
I feel like they've been skimmed on for so long.
Yeah.
It's coming next
Honestly.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the staffing requests that are in the budget are reasonable and.
Very reasonable.
And I think the recreation commission,
Yeah.
department managing that summer swing in the winter is a really phenomenal idea.
It is a
Yep.
good use of just consolidating resources.
There was a topic at tonight's meeting where so I remember the town manager saying he's not gonna support two positions that were requested, and one of the councilors asking, in that case, does the snow removal equipment make sense if no one's there to operate them, right?
But that individual, that's why within the rec department, they have, the town manager proposed the additional person there to then be on loan for DPW during the winter time.
Okay.
Yes.
No, that's, yeah. Not
Yes,
for the
yeah.
sidewalks because he's gonna be plowing.
Plowing, yeah.
Right, he'll be plowing.
So what is going to happen as far as the sidewalks then? What I understand is there are two pieces of equipment in the budget, but who's gonna operate them?
My guess is that it's gonna be one of the plowers or somebody from DPW will do it after they've done their run. And then they do the sidewalks and then they go back out on their run.
That's,
Out of curiosity, I mean, this isn't strictly budgetary, so I don't want to take everyone's time, but I wonder with a lot of the people living in town, is there a possibility of calling for volunteers who might help operate at least the sidewalk equipment? People maybe who have commercial driver's licenses or who have experience doing this kind of thing. Just a thought.
I think
If
we
we don't have
talked
the
about
staff.
that last time,
Yeah.
and insurance wise, it doesn't make
It's a
sense.
liability.
or
I was
something,
just gonna say the liability might be a
I think
thing.
We talked about that.
Yep.
Darn living in a litigious society.
I know.
I know.
Common
No.
sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I take it all back.
no, you're good.
You're thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Alright, then we'll go to town clerk, tax collector. Those budgets there.
I mean, I think they made a really good case for how much volume has increased in their work over time, like, and how much revenue they manage. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a good presentation, I thought, around the value of that group.
And I do agree that at some point they're gonna have to fix the way that the lobby area works for security reasons.
Yes, the security.
Yeah, I'm on the DPW working group and we did a tour of the Rochester DPW, and when you walk in, they've got the glass, they've got a door, like securely locked doors, like you can't access the people in DPW if you're a member of the public at all. And in our town hall, you can like jump, like it's very not secure, so I get where that needs to be fixed and how they're figuring that out now, but yeah, that seeing what it should look like and now knowing what it looks like there is like, okay, I think I get it. So
And I know they're gonna be reducing the machining equipment line because they approved the purchase of the
yes, for this year,
yeah, of the ballot tabulator devices.
I'm gonna be timing it this March. We'll see how it goes. I was 30 minutes late for an appointment last year, so
You stand there with your stopwatch?
I will. I absolutely will.
I had nothing there. Alright, so then moving on to finance.
Nope. Everything's on the up and
They're
up
pretty
there.
low maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd be alarming if they weren't.
Yeah.
That's true.
Who watches the Watchmen?
Right, right.
I suppose that's us.
Yes.
Alright, then next, human resources. So Patrick, you initially, there's something that you wanna say?
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to the presentation. So basically, HR is growing to, let's see, so there's a part-time expense in there, and I'd asked about that, and that's because of the partial year still, is that correct? Because I remember one of the positions doesn't start till late next calendar year.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, let me look at the presentation. I'm going through the departments
Yeah.
by the budget thing, so I'm looking at it now. Let's see here.
Yeah.
In the presentation.
Where's HR? Oh yeah, there it is, HR.
Yeah, so they want it doesn't say when they would start, but it says how much like full-time, so an assistant would be 0.7 and the special would be 0.65.
Yeah.
So,
The staffing requests do say when they would start.
July 1st, 2026
July
would be the
1.
part-time.
Part-time, yeah.
And then also July 1st for the
Assistant.
full-time. No, that is,
Yeah, so the
Yeah,
specialist would be full-time.
yeah.
That would be also July 1st. Okay.
No, see, I was confused there because it sounded like 4
Mm.
positions in the presentation, but then it was clarified as 2, and I remembered. Okay, I thought it was in the presentation, but it's not. I thought I remembered a September 26th start date.
And this is another one where just the volume and growth, it sounds like, has really impacted them. And since so much of their role is reactive, like reacting to having to hire
Mhm.
people, turnover, people leaving, people complaining about whatever there is to
Yeah.
complain about. So they're not able to be proactive. I remember she was talking about that a bit. Because you just get buried, right, in reactive stuff.
One thing I just had a hard time wrapping my head around, right? I understand where, the staff increase, that's additional money. The movement of staff, that came from town manager's budget. Just some of these other lines, just where the tuition reimbursement, is that something that we're paying for before? Is that something new that they've added in the 21K in there? That's it. That was just the big, just trying to figure out where.
Yeah.
Sean said he was reallocating monies from.
Right. In general, I think the creation of the new department, in parallel with what Justin's been doing to make management services broken out into specific things too, that all just ends transparency. But you're right, we can't compare this apple to the previous
Right.
apple, so to speak.
mm,
But next year we'll be able to.
Yes. All right. Moving on. Or is there anything else for HR?
no.
All right. IT.
Yeah, of
I
course,
found my questions answered tonight.
big expense increase there, but OpenGov's going to bring us a lot of benefits and save us
Mhm.
money
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
ROI.
All right. Then planning and building.
No, I put that.
I will say I learned a lot about each department this year.
I know. Me
Yeah,
too.
that was the
I
most in
loved
depth
it.
it's ever been.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, in years prior, we would be in there maybe an hour and a half.
Just
and then-
budget focused. That's
Well,
why
and
I'm
that
just like,
was-
Yeah.
I almost wish the Saturday meeting was how it used to be. Every department going through and giving us the outline then, and we can talk. That's the one
Some
critique.
feedback,
One
yeah.
critiques I want to give to Sean is just give it all up front, and then we go through the budget process. And just during the budget workshop, it's just budget workshop.
Yep.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
and what I'm hoping for from OpenGov is, in addition to that,
Yeah.
so for example, if I look at this, gee, wouldn't it be nice if I could do insert column and do a percentage calculation?
no, no,
Because
right
we don't
there.
have percentage change
Yeah,
in any of these,
right.
right? So,
Yep.
so anyway, to your point, yeah, it'd be great if I could sit here and go, everything is below 4%, then inflation. But if
Right.
there's one, that's 23%, ding, 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 right?
Yeah.
Right.
Just make it faster and
Yeah.
more productive.
That's what I was telling how we went over how I was going over the budget, and I was like, I look at basically this year versus last year and any big ginormous influxes. I'm
Yeah.
like, red
Right.
flag, what is this?
Mm.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Cable.
No, but that was neat. That was a cute little presentation. I love the little camp that they do. It's very nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's nice. The one increase on just podcast fees and the fact that they're able to now provide that
Mhm.
for use for the public is
Mhm.
nice. Hopefully getting more foot traffic there.
Mhm.
Okay then. Assessing.
Mm-mm. I feel like that department is understaffed. I would not be surprised to see an increase in the staffing requests in the next few years. They,
Probably.
with the number of
Yeah.
stuff that they're handling on a year, I did like a quick back of the napkin
Mhm.
calculation. They're basically assessing something like
Every
every
hour.
56 minutes or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Yep.
wild,
Yeah.
wild.
Nuts.
And it's back to the growth, right? Same thing.
Yep.
Like all these departments are
Yep,
feeling, I think, not all of them, but some of them for sure.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, and having had a couple of inspections and assessments at my place, I feel like they don't harass you. They take a good thorough look, but they don't overdo it and pad it either, so to
Yeah.
speak. So I feel like they kind of nail it pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, to the point about growth,
And there's been so much. There's just been a lot going on in the real estate world, right? Like
Yep.
in the last couple of years. So
Yep.
for sure, it's even.
All right. Well, then we can move on to recreation.
I love Art. He's great.
Yeah.
He's like a warm fuzzy.
I remember back when he used to be not a guidance counselor, actually, but not a headmaster. That's not the term that they had. But at the high school, he used to work there,
That's
and
cool.
then just came back to town. No, I think he's retiring. Good for him.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
We're still gonna see him.
I hope so.
Yeah.
He'll be
I
a
don't-
volunteer, I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought the guy did a really good professional job at presenting, by the way.
Me too.
Yeah.
Doug.
Doug. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I only know his name because my kid's in this stuff. So
Oh.
I became friendly with Doug recently.
Yeah.
So they are hiring a bunch, but they did explain, I guess, why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I believe Art. He hasn't asked for anything. in
Yeah.
Ever.
years. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely.
that's how I feel anyway.
Yeah.
And then a lot of their additional, the stuff that's
Mhm.
not being asked for in the budget, they're just going to take it out of the revolving fund.
Right.
Yep.
So.
And that's a safety thing too. Like when you, I mean, one example is they took all the kids on the rail trail, and I just remember as a parent being there and seeing like 50 kids, and they only, and I'm just like, who, you need people to watch all those kids riding their bikes and running around, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So kind of a, you want to make sure you have enough people, right,
Yep.
to
Yeah.
Right.
when you're dealing with a bunch of kids. So
Oh yes.
Exactly.
I thought, I forget who made the point, maybe it was one of the town councilors, was asking, after we heard from the library also, how much these departments talk to each other about potential overlap in their
Yeah.
programs.
Yep.
So,
yes, that was Deb.
that was Deb, okay, yeah, thank you. So, I don't have anything else to say about that. I was just curious, because I don't think I heard an answer whether the departments coordinate on that.
They
I thought it was
do,
They-
like,
like
Yeah.
somewhat.
but
Yeah.
it sounded like the answer was like sometimes, but it's not always. It doesn't always fit together the right way, kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? Because
Different audiences.
different
Yes.
audience, right? Like someone doing crafts in the library on a Tuesday at 7 is different than 25 kids making something
Yeah.
in the middle of
Yeah.
the summer. It's just a different. The whole scene and
Yeah,
the
I,
audience is different.
remember the same question has also come up at the library board of trustees meetings a couple of times, but again, it didn't seem like there was I didn't at least hear a huge amount of overlap, which makes sense to your point about audience.
But I think it's good to keep asking that question because, I mean, I keep asking myself the same thing as we go through just everything, IT and printing services and stuff that you see in all the budgets, right? Like,
Yeah.
so.
All right, then moving on to solid waste. I'll just
Oh, crappy.
Somebody had to go
I
there.
know. I
That
can't do
was
it.
good.
I censored myself.
Sewer? All right.
The guy was delightful.
He is.
Yes.
I knew what he was talking about.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yep.
I actually had that exact thought after that presentation. I was like, what a gem,
Mhm.
honestly. No, I mean, he's
Yeah.
obviously like likes what he's doing, you
Yes.
know, and is very
Yes.
smart about it.
Yes. Yeah, you asked a lot of good questions about the routes and stuff, because
Mm.
like, how can we improve as the government? And I think that was a very good question.
You talk about the trash trucks with the route
Yes.
optimization
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I get where they're coming from. The benefits are outweighed by the extra complexity. I totally understand that, and the safety of dragging your trash can
Mhm.
across the road.
Yeah.
Though still, it occurred to me after that, I live in a neighborhood that is fairly quiet, and I thought, hey, wait a minute, we have our neighborhood Christmas party coming up. What if I hit up my neighbors? Hey guys, we should all just put our trash cans on the same side of the road anyway, and just see if the trash truck just does it and only comes by that one time.
I don't think they would, because it sounds like they call in and they see, if there's a discrepancy like that. Like they have their map, they know where they're hitting and whatnot. Though,
But if you've got trash cans on both sides of the road, then all of a
Right.
sudden they're all on one side of the road. So
Well,
you're
you're
telling
not
me
talking about different days.
Yeah.
Because
So-
that's
oh,
what-
right.
That's talking about the
yeah,
Mammoth Road, because like sometimes
Right.
Mammoth
Yeah.
have like one's gray and one's blue lid for recycling, and you
Yeah.
can't move that over. Yeah.
Right, and so certainly that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the complexity would outweigh the benefits overall. But I was just curious if in smaller or quieter neighborhoods, I mean, every penny helps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are so
That's-
many cul-de-sacs in this
Yeah.
town, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
think of all those
Right, exactly.
roads that are.
I mean, from the trash
Right.
truck company's perspective, that's less tire wear, less fuel,
Right.
less driver time, etc. I mean, you're not changing the time spent actually heaving,
Yeah.
but you're changing, they call it inter-service time, I think.
Okay.
Braking and moving forward and
Yeah.
braking and moving forward,
Yes, that,
all
exactly,
that stuff.
right. But anyway, it probably wouldn't make enough of a difference to dent anything, and my neighbors would probably look at me like I'm crazy. So. But all the mailboxes are on the same side of the road.
Yeah. You've taken on some extracurriculars. You have some ideas.
Yeah.
I was already researching this.
See?
So, yeah. I've always thought, why do we have the trash bins on both sides and the mailboxes on one side? It makes so much sense. And I know UPS has invested many millions of dollars, for example, in route optimization. You've heard
Yeah.
Yeah.
they map out their routes so they take as few left turns as possible, and so on and so forth.
I did not
Yeah.
know
Yeah, I
that.
didn't know
Yes,
that.
oh, they do. They have
That's interesting.
optimization software that literally maps out routes that minimize their left turn time, their number of left turns, I should say.
If you look at the type of like UPS and FedEx and stuff like that, and the it's absolutely like phenomenal. It is like mind blowing the type of technology that they have, and timing, and it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AI now.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Total sidetrack.
Anyway,
No worries.
Although,
Back to the
Sorry.
budget.
Yeah, Sarah. No, I only
Sorry.
every time I say that, I appreciate it. No, I appreciate it.
Oh,
Well,
you
it's,
too.
we've been in here. We've been here for a while, so
Yeah, I
it's
know.
okay.
I guess senior fairs. Anything there?
no.
$25 per year and $10 for residents is very inexpensive. I was surprised to hear it was that low on a yearly basis. And nobody wants to propose any fee increases. So they just went up on October 10th, but
Right.
from what?
Right.
I know.
Yeah, was it 5 and 15?
I don't know.
So, but to be serious for a second, this is complete naivete, I admit, or ignorance. Why are people coming here from other towns to go to the Senior Resource Center here?
They may not have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you think about maybe like smaller towns like Chester and Hampstead, or like Auburn, they may simply not have those centers.
I was surprised to hear it was 30%. I
Yeah.
will say I didn't expect that to be the answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like there should be something additional. I don't know, some sort of. I mean, $25.
I mean, do we want to ask and see if they can, maybe for out of town residents, increase that? Is that an ask that we want to make to increase
Maybe-
revenue?
And maybe it's not, depending on what towns they come from, like if there's towns that are specifically, their governments are saying there's a senior center in Londonderry, go over there. maybe could be an agreement with like an inter-town type of agreement or something where we get like a little bit of subsidy from towns who are sending their folks here. So
But then,
I guess we don't know the total number though, right? We know it's
Right.
like 30%, but 30% of what? Like we're
600.
talking about.
600.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
That's 180.
I was like, we're talking about like 12 people or?
Yeah,
No, that accounts for
Okay, okay.
$4,500 a year, now, at the new rate, the out-of-towners. And I thought there were also program fees, so we break even on some of the programs, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
they do
yeah.
charge fees for like yoga and
Yeah.
things like that. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Right.
Now, again, is that gonna make a dent if we bump up the $25
I
to
know.
$50?
Right.
We're budget people.
I know.
know.
I just feel bad about making the elderly pay for it. I think the
Right.
towns who, send their people should pay for it maybe.
No, I agree with you, I wouldn't wanna, I'd feel bad about making people
Okay,
on
I
fixed
just
income,
wanted
et
to
cetera.
Yeah.
explore that
Yeah.
avenue at least and see if it's even feasible,
Mhm.
if it's worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Or maybe if the town that's where people are from has their own senior resource center, we ask them to pony up, I don't know. then all of a sudden you get into the
Yeah.
policing business.
Well, and then you get into, okay, but we sent you assistance, fire assistance
Yeah, you're right.
so many
you're right.
times. Like, it's a give and take kind of thing, and how much
Yep.
do we want to really nickel and dime? It's that,
Right.
I'm thinking about the airport agreement thing
Yeah.
with
Yes,
the
yes.
nickel and diming. Like,
Totally.
so how much are we gonna, yeah,
Yeah, I was only thinking about it in this case because of the extra staffing request for the senior
Yes.
center.
Yeah.
but that's
anyway,
not that's not actually going on this year, thankfully, so,
That's right. Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Alright, then library.
No questions on the library?
Yeah, the
There.
library is interesting. I mean, you and I observed their whole process, and they changed it by a couple of $100 what went in, but I mean, I did all the calculations on it afterwards, and the budget that the Board of Trustees submitted was 99.9% of what the library director asked for,
Mm-hmm,
and it was a few percent below what the board itself came up with.
mm-hmm.
So, the one thing I did appreciate is, after the session we had about the library budget, the statement there, the confirmation that yes, they're going to break out that management services line item
Yes.
again into further specificity.
Yeah, and it was interesting how the trustees, they built their own budget kind of on an island, and Erin built her budget kind of on an island. And then when they came together, there were give and takes in certain things too, but they came out pretty close after hearing what Erin had said. Well, we have these contractual obligations here and here, we could certainly reduce this, and there was discussion about it. And then they were like, well, we'll keep this in, but not this, and it seemed
Yeah.
very
Yeah, it was-
collaborative between, yeah.
It was, I agree. If I remember the one thing, they put quite a bigger amount in for electrical, was it that, where they said
That went up
43?
like, yes,
1,000?
because the CPI for that over the last 5 years was about almost 7%, I believe, compared to what the typical CPI was. So if they were using 3% inflationary, it wouldn't be enough to cover what their
Yeah.
electrical costs would be based off of how much electric has increased over the last 5 years. And they haven't done, and I was like, well, because the police also didn't increase their electric line, but they mentioned that they put in a bunch of different lighting things and things like that to reduce their energy consumption, and the library has not been able to do that yet.
What was their actuals? I'm trying to look.
Out of curiosity, since you mentioned that the police did that, does anyone know if the police was able to do like a before, after, and figure, yes, these lighting investments did lower our ongoing electrical?
When,
I thought
I-
somebody said.
yeah, Kim said that when we toured, 2 years ago or last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
She did say that they did. If you're curious for the number, I'll shoot him an email.
Well, okay, yeah, well,
Right.
but just
Yeah.
ballpark, like how many years would it have taken to amortize the cost of the lighting upgrades? Like ballpark,
Okay.
less than a decade? I don't know if you.
I don't. I can ask.
Yeah, I'm just curious because, I mean, if you're gonna replace your lighting to lower your electrical bill, obviously it's gonna take a while to amortize that, investment. And, I mean, I think probably we've all seen, cause years ago, I ripped out all the lights in my house and put LED in, much to my wife's still chagrin.
Well, I feel the same way about what my husband did to our house.
Yeah, well, we didn't really see much of an electrical savings, honestly.
Neither did we.
Yeah.
Really?
And then those things started dying much faster than rated.
Yeah.
So then you go buy the good one, the Philips, and your wife says, "Are you getting more LEDs?" so that's why I'm curious what they saw with industrial ones.
Yeah, right.
But I'll ask the chief.
I'm just gonna say just a general issue that I have with the library, just with, they implemented Gmilks, several years ago now. They said that costs would decrease, that we would see the cost decrease. They wouldn't need additional staff. They've requested additional staff last year. That the periodicals and the new materials line would decrease. I understand books are, those costs might be going up, but how much additional, I guess just why the increase? Why the increase by that amount? Are they still purchasing the same volume that they would have before, the same amount of, certain books, I know not every book, not every magazine costs the same. But I guess it's just
My
Are
understanding
you in the supplies line? Is that the
my understanding is twofold.
Just-
One, Baker and Taylor. They're basically two book suppliers in the entire country. Baker and Taylor decided to go away. Now they just have Ingram, and because they just have Ingram, Ingram gets to charge
Monopoly.
whatever they want.
Right.
They're now a monopoly. And so with only one book supplier, it really limits their ability to order books on time. The costs, again, when you have a monopoly like that, costs are going to increase. And then the other portion is a lot of their e-materials. Those costs can vary wildly, and so it's difficult to try to budget for those, especially things like Hoopla, from my understanding, because those are at a per item basis. You don't just pay one fee for the year. So if you check out this book, the library will get charged $2. You check out this movie, it's $3. And so because that varies wildly, they've got to try to cover all their bases. And then subscription fees for other ones are just going up quite a bit, especially with ebooks, because those licensing fees, you actually have to renew those every couple of years. Whereas you buy the book, you own the book, that's it. Ebooks are not like that. So.
One thing I didn't hear, and to your question, and maybe you spotted it during some of the library meetings, was to the point about books and electronic. How does that increase correlate to an increase in library traffic and number of patrons?
Well, we have, what I've seen, if I remember their presentation correctly, is that we have seen an increased traffic and increase in programming from the last 3 years.
Programming attendance, I think.
Program
right?
attendance,
Yeah.
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 And there
but
was library foot traffic too, I think, that was in there as well.
I was curious if, and I'll look it up again too, if there were numbers for actual use of paper or electronic materials.
That was in there too, I
Yes,
think.
in circulation. So for, so for FY25, physical materials increased from 138,700 to 154,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
100,000. Digital materials
So over 10%.
increased 46, about 47K to 50,000.
About 3,000.
Sorry, and what was that material?
So that was digital. So the
The
first
digital.
number was physical,
Okay.
second number was digital increase. What I'd be curious, and maybe I should have asked this, is how many of our patrons are utilizing Gmilks to get materials, rent out materials from other libraries within the consortium? Are we seeing an increase? Because that would be good to know, to see, is there just this massive amount of patrons that are now checking out in other libraries, so we're not seeing that increase and that pressure, that strain on the Leach Library, or is that not the case? Is it a minimal amount of individuals taking advantage of it?
Right.
There is a Gmilks Impact Year
That's what I
One
was just looking
slide.
at too, yeah. Digital's increased by 7.4%, physical's increased by 3.9%. Interlibrary loans, it looks like when we first joined Gmilks, that first 3 months, you see kind of a pretty
Yeah.
big bump,
Mhm.
and then it levels off, but it looks like, yeah,
Oh yeah, that is.
yeah.
Right, they did put that in there. Never mind. That's.
One interesting stat is that
that's-
we use Gmilks more than others use us in
Yes.
Gmilks.
So Gmilks has benefited us because it's almost like that fire thing, like we're taking more than we're giving.
Yeah.
So.
Hmm.
And the other thing too that I was looking at is if you look at the visits from fiscal year 2023 to
Yeah.
fiscal year 2025, it increased by 20,000 patrons. So they are getting a lot more visitors than they used to over the last few years.
I'm sorry, where did you see that, Kate?
On the slide number 4, visits from fiscal year 23 to 25, and
Ah,
from
there it is.
63,000 to 83,000.
Thank you.
So yeah,
It's all about Oscar.
maybe.
That's why.
So you had also asked about the staffing increase.
Well, there's no staffing increase, in this budget, but last year's budget. And
Right,
didn't
'cause-
they approve of?
A halftime.
part-time,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Because the voters approved that, but there was. No, I'll wait. I'll take a look. I might be missing.
You're talking about the warrant article that did not pass, one for the full-time librarian?
Full-time, yeah.
No, not that. No, there's. I'll double check.
Oh, the only
I'll
other ones
save
that
it for-
didn't pass were the police
Yeah.
this past
Well,
month.
no, it wasn't the warrant. It was no, it was something that the library trustees they approved an additional position. Someone told me that they approved additional
Oh,
position back.
Yeah, the technician,
Yes.
yes.
Uh,
I don't know what, wait, I think they might have already hired that person.
Right.
I remember the chair of the board of trustees saying that.
Yeah, somebody
the
left,
head-
and then Nick got
Yeah.
promoted into that role, and then that left
Okay.
an open halftime position.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
that
it's not a new
makes,
position; it's moved
because
one
the
from
way that
shifting things around the board. Yeah.
All right.
the way that the person said, they said, oh, someone they just added a position, so that's what I assumed. it
Yeah,
was.
somebody
So
got
that's
promoted,
not the case.
Yep.
Just okay, that makes
So the head count is pretty much the same.
It's the
okay?
same. Yep.
okay.
And it actually probably reduced because Nick's position was already full time, so they moved full time to full time because that full time position was gone. So, but anyway, there's that halftime position that is basically like being mushed because Nick's position was a full time position, but they reduced it to be a halftime position. So
Well, I
they
don't
reduced staffing a little bit.
I might ask Aaron just for a breakdown, a staff breakdown. I know they did that a couple years ago in their budget presentation. Just how many full time, how many part time staff,
Oh, yeah.
just so that we can see it
Mhm.
reflected.
Mhm.
Right. Anything else for the library? Okay, so now that just leaves warrant articles. Do we, Sean, in the warrant article PDF that's up on the website, is that up to date with the changes made by the council? Okay.
And the numbers are gonna change, there's two, that apply to the charter, which will go in front of that.
Okay.
And no decision on that Grange situation, so I don't know what's gonna happen with that.
Yep.
And there was one other too, I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
And the only two fire staffing requests, just to close the loop on that, was
Yeah.
the executive assistant and the training officer. Correct.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
the training officer, that's a definite
Yeah.
need. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's
And
a benefit.
Yeah, and the executive assistant is also a no-brainer to me too. We shouldn't have like highly experienced people who are like better at other things doing EA things.
Yeah, you're paying a lot more. than-
You're paying a ton more money. Yep,
Yeah, for people to do something more administrative.
correct.
I couldn't see, I mean, they asked for 11 positions,
Right.
I just can't see funding that.
Pick two.
Well, I mean, it's an issue of that, as the town continues to grow, then your tax base grows to be able to meet those demands.
Correct.
But, and I know there's, we got a report from MRI that talked about we need another ambulance within 2 years, but the reality is we just can't, in my view, we can't do it. If the council wants to add additional positions, that's within their purview, or, that's,
Yeah.
I guess the voters could at deliberative session say, I wanna add X amount of dollars to add additional firefighters. They could do that if they wish to, but I don't think it's fiscally responsible to do that, in my view.
No.
Article number 5.
Yep.
That's for the SAU office, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
just making sure.
To that point, I was wondering that myself. Just curious, why is that warrant article so generic? Is it to preserve flexibility for the town later? I mean, it says an office
My
building.
assumption is that that's how it has to be
Yeah,
written.
okay.
Yeah, because I haven't dealt with this in years now, but DRA, the way they sort of, they're militant about how it has to be read.
Mm.
I don't know, I used to fight with them when I was in a town before, and I would say, what authority do you have to tell them my warrant article's gonna be? You can, make sure the appropriation's in there, and I get that part of it, but you don't actually have that authority. That's been my argument to them. Where in your administrative rules does it tell you how, we do have some degree of local control and how we want it to read. So I used to spar with them on a regular basis, and then when I went to the city, they're like, oh, you guys do whatever you want, we're not gonna mess with you. I'm like, okay, good.
And here you are back in a town.
Yeah, but, again, it's the same thing though. The only difference is the city council would approve it. They just go down, if you look at when they approve their budgets, it looks just like your warrant. They do the same work, same thing, it's no different.
Well, I guess what I'm wondering about with this is, of course, we've had now, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 approaches to the SAU situation, both of which the voters have said no to.
So, yeah, it hasn't met the 60%
Right, exactly.
threshold.
And now, so I look at this one, and it strikes me based on what the town manager has said in the discussions I've overheard, that this is a very common sense approach. It makes a bad situation much less bad, if not outright better. It uses efficiencies that we have already have, the entry hall, the facilities here. But I worry that when people look at this, nobody wants to spend money, but if they see generic office building on a warrant article, as opposed to, oh, that's for the SAU and this is, the best of a bad situation.
And here's how
Right.
we're gonna save money later
And this
because
just
we've
comes
made
to
this
us
decision.
having to do our due diligence and writing letters to the Londonderry Times, the Derry News, and getting the word out there that this is what this
Yeah.
is for,
Yeah.
and doing all that fun
It
stuff.
also says $0 in your property tax.
Correct. Yes.
So
And this only
I think
requires
there's a high
50%,
chance
not
of
the
passing.
60%, because we're using
Right, it's a
undesignated
simple
funds.
majority that
Correct.
requires that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess once again, it's the unassigned fund balance use.
So
Yeah.
Justin created that, I don't necessarily, I think we should put down exactly what it is, it's the SAU, Administrative Office.
Yeah.
Building. So, the purpose of those drafts are just to give you an idea what the dollar amount is. DRA they won't review these until the end, once they're actually approved to move forward.
Okay.
Okay.
But to me, it should say exactly what it is so people know.
Well, let's make
I
that
agree.
request then.
Yeah, you can do that,
Yeah,
you're the budget
let's-
committee, I mean.
Yeah, let's make the request for it to say for this SAU.
Okay.
SAU
Increase the
office.
language specificity. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take us offline, but I heard Justin say tonight that total withdrawals on the warrant articles is going to be about 5 million roughly out of the unallocated funds balance, which I remember last week or so is at 12 million currently. And I guess it makes me a little nervous to hear that we're going to take almost half out of the UFB, but would you consider that actually to be a good thing?
Especially the way you're going to use it. So there's good and bad, and I think you caught it, that if I take that out, I'm not gaining interest on it anymore. Because right now, we're making money on that money, right?
Yeah.
So now we're gonna have less money to make money on. So there's that, but I'm also gonna offset the cost of interest I'm gonna pay on building.
Right.
It's gonna bring it down just above what the minimum would be. But the difference is that 2.5, I will get back in the school district every year.
Okay,
So
that's a
there's
fair point. Yeah.
There's a return on investment for me that I know I've got that revenue coming and they're good for it.
But on the other hand, that's a 0% loan we're giving them, right? Because it's 5 equal payments of 500K.
Or
So-
it's the amount that they're paying right now. So their budget would not change. It's not, I don't think it's 500K, it's a small. I think-
470 or something like that.
I think it's lower than that actually. I'd have to look
Yeah.
at it. But it's the taxes that are paid on it and their actual lease line.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually a longer period of time it will take to pay that back.
Okay.
Because it's 2.5 million that we've asked them for.
Okay.
So I think, I feel comfortable that I'm gonna get that back. The other side of it is, and maybe you do or don't know this, the school could say, we want all of our money at the beginning of the year. They have the authority, they don't do that. We have a schedule in which we make payments to them.
Oh.
So if they did that, I'd have to borrow money in anticipation of taxes. So if we were to get an uncooperative school board, wait a minute, then I want you to pay me back all my money that I let you borrow at no interest. So I don't see them doing that. You've had a pretty reasonable school board here
Yeah.
for quite
Yeah.
some time.
Yeah.
And they get the fact that working together is really important.
Yes.
For all
Yep.
of us.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
But I think the point that, to your point about just making sure people understand what the warrant articles are,
Yeah.
I would love to see something that's like, like well, I guess it can't be a one pager because we have so many, but
Cheat sheet.
a cheat sheet that's like, here's what it says, here's what it's for,
Yep.
And here are facts, so not opinions, about how that will impact you or impact the budget, right? Like for this one, we could say after whatever amount of time, like I don't have the fact on the top of my head, now we will not have to pay this and we're going to make this money back in a certain way, a certain time, or
Well, something that we have the ability to do is to create that annual report. That'll be, one will be published in the town's annual report, but also that's something that we could share. I mean, I don't see why we couldn't start off our annual report with just that a cheat sheet of just, hey, this is the basics of each, and then delving into
Yeah.
in deeper detail if people want that, and that's something that we can then make easily accessible, shared online, and we can discuss that definitely in December when we meet like this again.
Yeah, and it'd be good to get that out before the deliberative session, because that's of course when the budget
Oh.
committee sits up there and questions are asked. So.
Though during deliberative things could change though.
True.
To the warrants.
But we could update it.
But we
They
could
sure
at
can.
least have something ready to
Yeah.
go just in case there
Right.
are no changes there.
That's fair.
With the warrants,
The warrants
The
this year are
funds.
pretty,
just run of the mill funding the funds that we fund every year,
Mm-hmm.
and then
So far.
so far.
That's fair
funding
too.
the
Yeah.
funds
Yeah.
that we fund.
Yeah.
We know we have one coming in for $900,000 for the Lions Hall. That'd be a petition warrant article.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh.
that.
So we're gonna have probably a bond for the same thing, and then a petition warrant article for 900. Half of that's supposed to come out, what I've been told, half that's supposed to come out of unassigned fund balance, the other is raised by taxes to go into a capital reserve fund.
If I may, forgive me, I don't know. Is the Lions Hall like the Grange? Is that its own thing, non-town property, or is
It is
that?
town property.
Yeah.
It is town
Yeah.
That's the
property.
difference.
Okay.
That
Because-
can's been kicked, dented, and run
Oh, yes.
over.
So we have the authority, because that has a public purpose, so
Mhm.
we do have the authority to spend money on that. The Grange
Okay.
Hall is a different question.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because it's not owned by the government, it doesn't provide a government service, and now I know that in years past, there was a warrant article, and they did provide money to that, but the legality of that is questionable. Because you can only spend public funds for a public purpose,
Right.
and they would have to articulate, I haven't heard that tonight,
Agreed.
so, something to think about there.
Yeah. Who's workshopping the petition warrant article, or which persons are?
Well, they're supposed to be filed with the clerk, right?
Right.
But Justin's actually the person who puts them together.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
To present, you mean?
yeah. In the past, who's authoring the petition warrant article? Is it someone that's like who's the individual? Because I know usually that someone go around, they get the petitions, they workshop these. In the past they've worked with town hall. I know the initial pickleball warrant article, they worked with town hall to come up with.
These people
Yeah.
are working with us.
So they're not. So this is
Okay.
private group of individuals. They're
Yeah.
not communicating with you.
Other than the fact that they have a warrant article and this is what they're proposing, but other than that, they haven't asked us for any input or any help with it or guidance or any of that sort of thing. So it's not what I call a collaborative effort, because
Yeah.
we're proposing one, people are gonna decide the efficacy of this is, I was directed to create this, so I'm doing that.
Right.
For this building over there, so
Yeah.
I'll have those numbers and, they'll be, by the 15th of December, I'll have those numbers.
So does this mean this would be more of a citizens petition?
Yeah.
or-
That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
940, it's a citizen's petition, not recommended by the town, well,
Got it.
not proposed by the town
Mhm.
council, what they ultimately recommend on is a different story.
Right.
The only thing, Justin brought this to my attention, I said, my only concern about that is we're gonna spend 940 somewhat, whatever it is, we don't even know what we're doing with the building,
Right.
and you're gonna raise taxes on half of it, you don't have a plan. So that's a lot of money to be put in without a plan as to what you're actually going to do, or what you're really up against. So
Yes.
people have to determine the efficacy of that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about
Whether or not they
Grange or
change their
Lions
mind.
Hall now. We're talking
Lions
about-
Hall.
Lions Hall.
940,000 for the Lions Hall. We
So-
don't even know what we're doing with it.
Still don't know what we're doing.
Mhm. Yeah, we were discussing this when I joined the budget committee 3 years ago.
Correct.
Yep.
That's
And
why
when
I'm
I
just.
joined 5 years ago, it's
I don't know anything about the Lions Hall.
Folks
Well,
need to take a
talk-
60,000 foot level of this.
Mhm.
Why, what is our goal? What are our objectives?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And is this worth the treasure of
Mhm.
public funds to do it? That's the public policy decision that you're gonna have to make,
yeah.
Mhm.
right? And the council's gonna have to make before it even goes to the voters.
Yep.
Is this, where is this on our list of, we don't have a strategic plan yet, we're working on it, but where in there does that fit? And that's what you guys are gonna have to decide before it gets to the voters.
Do we
We'll
get
definitely
no-
have to ask Dave, because I assume Dave, it would fall on Dave to determine how, he's the one that's
Yeah,
come up with the different proposals of, this is what I'd use X amount of dollars for to renovate the Lions Hall, and he's given us the tours in the past of what needs to be fixed, what needs to be done in which phases,
What
Um,
could be done.
what could be
Could be.
done, and wasn't it
Could.
when they asked for $1 million last time, or not last time, but there was one time there was an ask for $1 million. Maybe
yeah.
it was last year when they took it off of the
At the last second, I think.
the
Yeah.
last second
Mhm.
because it's still they couldn't determine if the 1 million would even be any good for getting
Correct.
it into
That's
a
right.
place
Yep.
that people could
Right.
go ahead and use even
And that
just
was
the
a couple
bottom
years
floor.
ago when construction costs were lower, and now
Yeah.
the amount is less than what it was before, and now we've had a couple more years of deterioration.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I feel like probably this can has been kicked, but I don't know too much about the situation either. Is there a compelling interest for this property to stay in the town's hands, or is there monetizable
Oh, boy.
rental here?
So it's the
Yes
old
and no, I would
Yeah.
say.
yeah. So
two very
I mean, if we can,
camps. Yeah,
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking at the town finances and the taxpayers here.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I
And
don't
then-
have any sentimental
correct.
attachment
There
to
are
it.
some people in
Yeah,
town who
same.
do have that sentimentality
Understood.
towards that building.
But we
I'm
have
not
to-
one of them, but like,
Right. I get it, but
Yeah.
we have to watch out for taxpayers.
correct,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
And I know there was a committee. There was a committee.
Yes,
for
There
this.
was, yes, a Lions Hall committee.
Correct. And they spent 2 years doing what? Like they sent out a survey, I think.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
Like I think
I
they
don't
had
think
their
we ever
shot.
got
That's
those
my opinion.
results.
They had their shot to come up with a plan, and they got nothing.
We never got the results of the survey. I
No.
don't believe
No, so I don't know.
just
If-
floating around somewhere.
do we expect that this group that is working on this warrant article is going to come in front of the town council or the budget committee and talk about it?
They're gonna have to,
Yeah.
They're gonna have to.
they
Well,
don't have
okay.
a choice.
in the past, I mean, they haven't until deliberative session go up and talk about
Correct.
these
We've
warrant.
had some.
Well,
Well, they have to file it by January something,
But it
right?
doesn't
Right.
mean that
Okay.
they just might not show up.
Well, that
to-
makes it easy then.
Then
Yeah.
if they don't show up as delivered, we say, okay, we can just change the warrant article.
Or just vote.
That's
we
true.
give.
You don't recommend it.
Like the library
Right.
furnishing on this past March.
Right, where it was
Right.
40,000, we brought it down to 0. We could do that
Yeah.
again with
That's
the
right.
Lions
Yeah.
Hall.
That's right.
Well, anyway, to be fair-minded, let's hear them out first.
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah, you're
Um,
fair.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna kind of say with the Grange, where we don't own the Grange. They are a nonprofit. I understand there's people that have sentimental value to it. Communities used it, but it's not a town piece of property that's operated by town employees. That's managed by the town. It seems like that they could do some work on their own to raise revenue on their own. That's why I asked the question: what happens
Right.
if you
What's
get
plan
the warrant?
B?
Plan B is, well, we'll figure it out. Well, it
Right.
sounds like maybe you should start with figuring out now, and
Right.
Yeah, there was not yet specificity
Yeah.
in that extra
Correct.
amount. I mean, what I heard was foundation bad, driveway bad,
Right.
walls uninsulated, no
Much
toilet, no
like
boiler.
The Lions Hall.
Right.
Much,
Yes.
And they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Right.
So.
And I mean, nonprofits have a way of being able to fundraise and
Yeah.
getting donations, and it doesn't sound like they've started like a campaign for any of that stuff.
Yep.
Looked at, community like Hannaford's to sponsor them for something, or, because I remember when we were doing the signs for last year, that was the warrant article, they already had donations that were worth half of what the warrant article
Right.
was asking for, so they had
Yes,
10,000
the
already, and the
signs.
warrant
Yeah.
article was for 10,000. And
Yeah.
so, that showed a good faith effort into trying to build up that before they came to us. And I think I would like to see something like that first before it goes under consideration.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Deb hit the nail on the head, I think, on that one when she was like, you really need to have like like what's the plan,
Right,
right?
right.
And so that was a
Yeah.
ample opportunity to offer up something that sounded justifiable a little
Yeah.
bit more. So
Plus, I would just like to see how much money if they're asking us for funds, what are they bringing in fundraising, or
Mhm.
I don't know if they rent it out. I don't know if he said the Boy Scouts, they use it and they pay him out. What is that amount? What's their revenue? What are their expenses? what are they planning on using the town funds for, dollar amounts? Because if
Yeah.
it's just around $100,000, it doesn't seem like much thought was put in. Just, hey, give us 100,000, we'll figure it out along the way.
To me, it's not our property, not our problem.
And that as well.
Sounds heartless, but
No, it's the truth though. The taxpayers aren't a charity for every fund and nonprofit and every good idea that's out there. If it's
Right.
not managed by the town, then
right.
and we take care of the charitable organizations in town already with the community service grants. The
Again,
ones,
with public service, what they provide to the public.
right.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else for the warrant articles?
Nope.
So that's all I had for business for tonight. We're going to do the same thing on December. Let me pull it up. I just had it in front of me. There we go. On December 18th. So we'll first be in the high school cafeteria, and then we'll drive over here. We'll pick up, and we're going to do the same thing with the schools. Yes, Patrick.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you said schools, there's a school budget presentation next week on, what is it, Wednesday? Tuesday?
Tuesday. Yeah.
And so, I'm sorry, I missed then what you were just talking about?
So for
December
our separate meetings, just so that we can fulfill, we're meeting, fulfill the obligation of meeting once a month.
Mhm.
Two, so that just us as a board can sit down and discuss all the information that's been thrown at us and figure out if there are any other questions or whatnot, just what we did here.
Mhm.
So the budget, all the upcoming meetings this month, next Tuesday, the 25th, school district presentation. Amity said that it's going to be the same with the town. All the documents are going to be digital, no budget books.
Cool.
I'm going to request also power strips be put under where we,
Oh, that's
Yes.
great.
because I was thinking about that. My laptop's almost died several times during these sessions. They're just as long over there, and where we're placed is far from the
Oh
walls.
yeah, we're
where-
in the middle of the cafeteria.
Yeah,
Yep.
we are.
So
I got
I'm
a
gonna-
50-foot reel extension cord with 4 outlets on it.
Yeah.
Well, that covers 4 of us.
Yeah.
This thing has like 8 hours of battery life. I'm good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Unlike Mr. Gaming Laptop over
Yeah,
there.
with I don't know,
Did you get what, like 90 minutes?
yeah, 2 hours when I shut everything off and put it on eco mode and turn the volume everything down low.
With rear wind downhill.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make that request just so that we don't have to worry about power.
Okay, good idea.
So Tuesday, November 25th. That's our last meeting in the month of November. December. The 1st will be town council. The 4th so all these meetings are gonna be on Mondays and Thursdays.
And you guys, just as a side note, sorry, I know.
No,
I know.
go right
But
ahead.
I just wanted to mention, so because it was driving me nuts, I took the town, the school, and the budget committee meetings and put them all in one Word doc, just so that I could keep it straight. If anybody wants, I can send it to you.
Send it to the whole
If it-
committee.
well,
That would be super
I'm
helpful.
hoping it's all accurate so we can keep going, but
yeah.
but I needed to see it in one place so I
We
didn't
need to
miss
do that
things.
for you next year, so that you have your whole schedule. Not
Like the
only
whole
that, but
thing.
Everybody else has it too, the public has it, so
Yep.
we need to up our game in terms of that for next year.
I mean, it didn't take that long for me.
For
to
what
do,
it's
but
worth, the
thank
town calendar, you can snap it into Google Calendar if that's something you like to do
Oh.
and superimpose it.
I didn't
So.
know that.
you. Thank you.
But
I
we should
will
do it
do
for
that.
you though next year, so that way you've got it, where all of your meetings are. And the
Yeah.
public can go to those too, that way they know,
Right.
this is all the budget.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how much extra work it is, but I have my email for budget committee on my phone already, and so when I create meeting invites on that email, it goes to my phone. So I don't know how much extra work it would be for Kirsten or Tanya to create meetings and just invite us.
I'm used to that,
Yep.
because it makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yes. Me too. Yep.
Just for all of the boards and committees, not just you, that we're trying to keep track of all the balls in the air. And that's why this is part of this whole change, this reform for next year, because not only the general public can also know the entire process, because it's all, the school and town, all, it all adds to it.
Yeah.
But calendar invites, I'm used to doing that. They don't do that here for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah, they
And
don't.
none of our boards and committees get them, so they don't, you have to try to figure out where you're supposed to be. That's the only way I know where I'm supposed to be, 1 minute to the next.
The way, when
Mhm.
I know sometimes when there's a meeting coming up, because I have the agendas emailed to me,
Yeah.
so like the notification, I'm like, oh, there's an agenda, there's a
Right.
meeting, got it,
Right.
but that's the only way I know.
We don't even have a group email for you, so when I email you, I have to put all of
Oh,
your-
yeah,
What
So-
happened to the group email?
I don't
Because there
know.
used to be one that would email out to.
There was one.
we had one in the old email, but then when we went to TOL boards, that email no
Oh.
longer existed.
I'd like to
We
change it
moved
to
to a new one.
Gov too, like so everybody else, so if you send out an email, people know it's a government email address that's coming out, I don't know how we actually email people, but there's a whole lot of change that needs to occur.
Mhm.
I thought we do have a budget
We
committee
do.
area.
TOL
Right, because
boards
that's how I've
org, yeah.
emailed agendas
Yeah.
out to.
And we had to fix that Sunday calling.
Yeah, because we were
Right,
missing
you
from
guys
it.
weren't-
Yeah.
I was sending it was going on to past members. But,
So I'm so sorry, I
yeah.
interrupted you initially.
You're all
You
set.
were just moving through the calendar. I
Yeah,
think you were
so-
going into
So here.
December 1st.
Google Calendar.
Yeah.
You got your
Oh.
town calendar right on there, so it's doable.
So the workshops, regular workshops for town and school. So the first town, the 4th school. Next Monday, the 8th town. That Thursday, the 11th school. Next Monday, the 15th town. Then the 18th school, and then we're meeting back in here. So
Right, on
once-
the 18th, we
yeah.
have the next budget committee meeting after the
Yeah.
school,
Yeah.
right?
So on the 18th, right, we're going to go through the school districts just like we did, and maybe we start workshopping some ideas for an annual report, start coming up with how we'd want to format that.
Okay.
Okay,
Shoot.
that's cool.
So that's all. Is there anything else from you
I
guys?
just want to send me the school calendar, because I'm gonna make sure I'm there, because I'm your staff person, so.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you can just send that to me, so that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
The school calendar?
Yeah,
that what you
because
just-
I'm your
school
staff
calendar?
person, so wherever you go, I should be going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
If
send-
you need me to do something, then I can do it for you.
Or I'll shoot that out. Alright,
Okay,
so
you're
if
gonna do it.
there's-
And I'll
yeah.
send this to everybody, you can use
Yeah.
it if you want.
Just to make sure, all the locations and places you just quoted,
Okay.
are those, no, you don't need to repeat them, that's not what I'm asking.
Right.
But on the town website, I assume that all of those are up to
Those
date with
are up
what
to
you just said. Okay,
Yes.
good. That's what I go by.
yeah.
Cool.
So if there's nothing from anyone else,
Nothing.
and I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes in the affirmative. Budget committee meeting is adjourned.